But I just redid the wirecast.
This crystal is from...
Well, we're live, you guys. Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm going to lead tonight's GemWise class, and in case you didn't know, I'm the Sage God. I'm married to the Sage Goddess. I don't know. Can you hear me okay? Can you see me okay?
You're good.
I'm good.
Thank you, Sylvia, for taking such good care of this sacred
All right.
period.
Well, without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to the real
I'm right
professional here.
Bye,
you guys.
Hi. It takes a village. It seriously takes a whole village of people to do this thing. I was just commenting on Facebook because while they were fixing the internets, because I don't know if you saw this, but there's actually, since we're GemWise, I'm going to tell you a fun story. Did you see this? If you follow Sylvia Peluso, who makes all my jewelry, then you may have seen this on her jewelry page today. And I want to tell you the story about it because it's such a cool, you guys are my gem folks, and I'm going to show it to you. So the crystal that I gave her, I've had this crystal for about 3 years, the double terminated, and it is half black tourmalinated quartz and half rutilated quartz. And what the it's a really special piece. So when Rock Courier, who's the founder of Mindat, I talked to you about Mindat during the live specimen sales. I don't know how many of you go to the other things, so I don't like to assume that you're at the live specimen sales. I know some of you are, but so Rock Courier is the founder of Mindat, and he owned land out here, and he had his crystals. And so when he passed away, I mean, he's a legend, right? Like, he was the one who mined the rainbow hematite from Brazil. He owned the mountain, he mined it, he brought it. When he passed away, I was so fortunate. I was one of the first people who was allowed to go through his collection and buy what I wanted from his collection. And so I bought a lot of things, but one of the things I purchased from his collection are these double terminated. He took different quartz points, okay, but like gem quality, and he fused them almost like grafting like plumeria. If you've ever done that, he grafted them. And so I have these grafted points that he made where he took, in that case, gem grade black rutile and gem grade golden rutile and fused them together, cut them with lapidary equipment so they exactly matched. So I have these double terminated points from him that are 2 different stones. And so I've given, I gave one of them to Nicole, who made a cuff, and I gave another one to Sylvia, who made a necklace. But what's really cool is I've had those pieces since Rock passed away, which I think has been about 3 years now. And, you know, it's fun when you just, like, you wait, right? Everything had to be done at the right time. Because when Sylvia does custom work for me, she, you know, I always have her do it when she's done making all of her stuff. So it took a little while. How did he do it? Well, what's really cool about Rock is he had some stuff in his collection that you would never ever see because he traveled the world. He had some ivory in his collection, which, you know, it was from Africa from the 1950s and 60s. I mean, he had crazy, crazy, crazy pieces in his collection. But he had an entire team of cutters, and so he was at the mine, right? He owned a lot of the mines, so he would take the material out, super gem grade, and he would have it cut and faceted, and then he would have these points made. He had all the resources to do that. So I will tell you, going through his collection was a pretty incredible thing. And one of the things I really, really, really thought was beautiful is that he had gemstone carvings of Jesus Christ and of Mary. And I knew him, I spent time with him, and we didn't often talk about spirituality. We talked more about, you know, really about, I mean, the things that we talk about here, honestly. If he was still alive, I'd be live with you there right now. There are videos. If you were in my classes at the time, I shared a couple videos of Rock. So you can go back in the archives and watch those where he talks about mining rhodolite garnet and all of those things. But anyway, I thought it would be fun to kind of kick this off because since I was waiting for you, I was looking at that magic, which is pretty exciting. Okay, we have so much to talk about tonight, and I've got props, so I have a lot to tell you. I did not get a Mary from him, and the Jesus that he had was, I think it was about $40,000 or $50,000 is what he was asking for it. Totally worthwhile, just out of my budget. I bought things from his collection that were in the couple $100 range. Most of his items were in the $1,000 to, I would say, $75,000 range. And so, but you know, when you're talking about collectible minerals, you're talking about that. One of the things I really try to educate people about, and it's hard because when people come to buy crystals, they don't realize what crystals are really worth. I don't think people in our community fully realize the value of the crystals that Sage Goddess brings. Truly. I mean, it's almost insane to me. But yes, collectors, I wish I could have gotten some of his pieces, truly, but they were worth $30,000, $40,000, $70,000. When you're talking about crystals that don't exist anymore, or are gem grade, or were pulled directly out of the earth, you know, I mean, really rare things he had, like huge amazonite clusters with fully terminated phantom smoky quartz points leaping out of them, right? I mean, you're going to pay $40,000, $50,000, $75,000 for that. So sometimes when we have big cathedrals and big pieces and huge generators and they're a couple $100, that's why I lean in close to the camera and go, are you guys hearing this? Because crystals are expensive. And I think sometimes I'm guilty of, because I try to give you good value, I'm guilty of leading you to think that crystals are not expensive. But I think one of the benefits of going to the bigger shows is that you develop an appreciation, not just for us, but for the whole trade, because it's extremely expensive and it's getting more expensive. I don't know if you know, but it's relevant, so I'm going to tell you. Do you know about tariffs and taxes that are being raised around the world? The Republic of the Congo, the government, and this has just happened. I posted about this on Facebook, but I don't, it may not have, it was on my personal page, so you may not have seen it. The Republic of the Congo now is fully aware of what the miners are charging for their stones when they bring them to market. The Congo citrine and other minerals, chrysocolla, shadakite, other Congo native minerals. And so they now have raised the taxes and the tariffs on those crystals leaving Africa. I don't blame them, but what I have told you is, if you see Congo citrine on sagegoddess.com between now and Tucson, you should buy it, because we're not raising our prices. I could. And then when I bring it back from Tucson this year, what my vendors have already told me is at least 2x, probably closer to 5x the price, wholesale, which means your prices on dioptase, Congo citrine, shadakite, chrysocolla, all Congo-born material is going to be anywhere from 100% higher to 500% higher next year. And that is coming directly from the mine. So I try to give you this wisdom and this information so that you take full advantage of it. The other thing I want to tell you too is, and I'm always concerned about, you know, what is this going to mean for people working the mines? Because I like to work with people where I know who's mining it, what the conditions are, to the extent that it's possible to know that. Are people being treated well? And that's why I'm always worried when people buy a lot of stones from sources they don't know. It's like, do you know where your stones are coming from? Do you know about the supply chain? Are people being treated ethically? Are they, you know what I mean? Like, these are big questions for me. They don't have to be big questions for you, but I tell you it because I'm your teacher. I tell you it because I think sometimes people are just looking for a bargain and they don't realize what that bargain means. In order to bring you a bargain, it means somebody in the channel, in the pipeline, gets cheated. They either get cheated at the mine, or they get cheated where I'm at, or you get cheated. And so what I try to do with Sage Goddess is make it a good exchange all around. I pay more for stones sometimes because I'm supporting a family. I'm not going to make it so that they're not making money. They have to support their families. But I will tell you, there are some people who don't. And so just be very, very know your vendors is what I'm saying. And of course you're going to buy from places other than Sage Goddess, but I would say make good decisions about that, because energetically it really matters where your stones come from. It really matters. You can smudge all day long, but some stuff isn't going to come off, like mistreatment or people not being paid at the mine, or people who are cutting and carving not getting paid and things like that. Like, you have to know where your stones are coming from. Okay, so we are going to talk tonight about Terra. Green Terra, white Terra. I printed pictures because I think sometimes it's really good just for you to see, right? Just for you to see what are these figures that we're talking about. And there are anywhere between 12 and 108 faces of Terra. And so tonight we are talking about, aren't you excited? Oh, it's so good. I love Tara. And if you don't know who Tara is, she is the Tibetan Bodhisattva of compassion. She is thought to be the mother of all Buddhas. And I'm going to show you tonight, I actually have a clip of the Dalai Lama chanting Tara's mantra, which is so, whenever I listen to it, I just get chills up and down my spine. So I'm going to play it for you tonight because you might be familiar with her mantra. Diva Premal actually sings her mantra, and it's one of my favorites. So I'm going to play that for you tonight and talk to you about Tara. And then we are going to talk about gemstones. I have giveaways. I have some of the most beautiful fluorite pieces. These were just launched on sagegoddess.com today, by the way. So if you don't win the giveaway and you really want super juicy fluorite, this one's more lavender and teal. Look at the lines on that. Isn't that beautiful? These are crystal clear. And just like every other gemstone, fluorite comes in grades. This is AAA, AAA, super translucent, gemmy, gorgeous. And so the reason I buy these faceted pieces is these are channeling stones. They go right on your third eye. And I can't even tell you how good that feels because it's cold and it's a Dharma stone, so you can feel the energy of it. It's a clarity stone. Fluorite activates all of your clarity centers, including your third eye and your throat chakra. So, and depending on what color is most prominent, this would be more of a crown and heart piece. And so I'm going to do both of these as giveaways tonight. This is more of a third eye crown and heart piece. This is more about intuition. This is more about spirit connection. Aren't they beautiful? So I have some giveaways. I have show and tell because I'm going to show you some incredible pieces of Tibetan quartz as I introduce you to that mineral. And then right after we're done here, I am recording Crystals of the Bible for you, which is your fun, free bonus class for being in GemWise. I think you know that I just finished my second book called Crystal Legends, Lore, and Myths, and in that book is an entire chapter on the crystals of the Bible. And so many of you have asked me, what are the crystals of the Bible, and are they still available? One of the things I'm really proud of, as I send love to that siren right there, one of the things I'm really proud of, because size doesn't matter when it comes to crystals, I found the one place in the world that I could get chrysoberyl for you. I am so excited, you guys. It's in the shop today. This is a limited set. These are the crystals of the Bible, so you're getting the whole set. I want to tell you because it's in the shop. These are the crystals of the Bible. I'm going to teach you about these in your bonus session that I'm recording tonight. This is chrysoberyl, one of the rarest stones I've ever brought you. This is a crystal that was worked with in biblical times and today is really not available on the open market. So it's a tiny crystal in your collection, but let me tell you, and by the way, this is expensive. That's why it's small. I couldn't do the set at the price I did if I got a bigger piece. It's so rare and so expensive. There's only one active mine in the world of chrysoberyl. Are you ready to see what the crystal looks like? Isn't that beautiful? So you are getting in your kit one edge of that perfect, this is a natural chrysoberyl star. Isn't that incredible? From the Bible. This is the exact stone. And like I said, I was able to get, I don't know, I think like 100 small pieces, and that was it from the person who owns the mine. Aren't they beautiful? So anyway, there's a really special, rare treat in your Stones of the Bible set that's in the shop right now. And then that recorded class will be in the classroom for you tomorrow. Aren't they incredible? So I'm going to teach you all about the crystals of the Bible. I hope you're excited about that. A lot of people don't realize that crystals are mentioned in the Bible and that they're actually mentioned for magical purposes. It's pretty cool. So anyway, lots more to come. But that's kind of what's fun for you guys is tomorrow you get a sneak peek of my book. You guys are the first people in the world to hear anything from related to my first crystal book that's coming out at the end of 2018. So I'm excited to share that with you. That, I hope, is one of the benefits of being in GemWise, is that as I launch a brand new book into the market, and there are a couple of books in the world on the history of gemstones, but mine is the most comprehensive, so the fact that I can bring that content to you ahead of the publication date is a real treat for me, too. Okay, so we are talking about Tara tonight. I want to tell you who Tara is. I want to introduce you to her first. Chrysolite, chrysoberyl are names that are used interchangeably. So yes, it's the same material, chrysolite, chrysoberyl. Okay, this is Terra, green Terra. This is white Terra. Like I said, there are, let me give you the exact number. 21 official forms of Terra, but then in other texts and other locations, you'll read that there are 108 forms of Terra. So it just depends on what source you look at. But the primary forms of Terra that we work with are green Terra, who's considered the more active Terra, and the white Terra, which is considered the more serene Terra. These are both healing faces of Terra. Terra is a healing goddess. And in fact, I think Terra is a beautiful name. We have a staff member here named Terra, and every time I've ever met anyone named Terra or Tara, I've always been extremely attracted to them because they, no matter what, they hold that healing energy. They hold that vibration of deep peace and compassion. They always come through for me as peacemakers. I don't know if you know anyone named Terra or Tara, but don't they always kind of have that energy to them? Yeah, so Claudia, it absolutely is. 108, as you'll learn in my chakra book, which is coming out on September 4th. I've written 3 books so this year. So when you hear me talk about a lot of books, I've been busy. But my first book, which is coming out September 4th on chakras, will teach you that from the Vedas, there are 108 energy centers in the human body. We have narrowed them down to 7 basic chakras, but then there are 2 what we call anchor chakras, the soul star, which anchors you to the upper realms, and the earth star, which anchors you to Gaia. And so, but technically there are 108 energy centers. That's why there are 108 beads in a mala, and that's why we recite our sacred mantras 108 times. And a lot of the most beautiful musical artists who sing the mantras, like Diva Premal, she repeats, I might sneeze. Excuse me. I always sneeze twice. We'll see if it actually happens. She always repeats the mantra 108 times in her songs, which I think is really cool. So if you just listen to a Diva Premal song and you sing along, you're going to be repeating that mantra 108 times. So it's like listening to beautiful music and singing along, but you're also activating every energy center in your body. So I love, love, love that. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. So here's what I want to tell you about Terra. She relieves all suffering. Did you know? And I'm having this made for us, okay, because I want it. And usually when I want something, you want something too. So what I'm having made for us is a pendant. It's a circle pendant. You could put it on a keychain or you could wear it as a pendant that has the mantra for Terra that I'm going to teach you tonight. I'm going to show you the Dalai Lama reciting it. When you recite that mantra, and I'll put the link to the Dalai Lama's recording of it in your group, so you don't have to go chase that down, but I'm going to play it for you tonight. When you recite that mantra, did you know that Terra protects you from 8 sacred dangers? Okay? So all you have to do is say her mantra. I'm going to say it with you right now before we even start because I want you to learn how to invoke her energy. Are you ready? I truly believe that I am teaching you this class tonight, not so much for the gems, but because you need to know about Terra and you need to know about this mantra. This mantra is going to keep you sane, okay? It is going to get you through difficult times if you are afraid in your life, if you're feeling anxious in your life, if you're feeling unbalanced in your life, okay? This mantra will be something that really soothes you. And I'll post in your group also a link to Diva's version of this because I think her version is really, really beautiful. So you'll hear the Dalai Lama's version, and then I will put Diva Premal's Om Tare Tu Tare song, her version of the mantra, in your group as well so that you can kind of compare and contrast. It is, Teresa. It's Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Soha is her mantra for Terra. But you'll hear the Dalai Lama repeat it in just a moment. Tibetans love mantras. Mantras are, think of mantras as super magical words. Why are there so many Terras? Because of all of the faces of divine compassion. In the Buddhist tradition and in the Tibetan tradition, everything is multi-faced, multifaceted. There are many Buddhas. And so one of the reasons that the Terra has to have so many faces is she's considered the mother of all the Buddhas. Okay? So what they say is there's one face for Terra, of Terra, that greets everyone. And that's one of the reasons I love Buddhism, honestly, is Buddhism recognizes Jesus Christ as an ascended master. Buddhism recognizes every teacher from every tradition as an ascended master. And so because God has so many faces, so too does the goddess. And so because Terra represents every face of female divinity, and if you think about it, there are many faces of male divinity. How many faces of female divinity are there? divinities that have multiple faces. Really, Terra's the only one where you hear them talk about the faces of Terra. Sometimes you'll hear people talk about the faces of Hecate, for example, right? Some goddesses have multiple aspects, but usually they don't, and I think it's because of its anchor in the Buddhist tradition. I have such appreciation for Buddhism. I mentioned that earlier this week. I think it's one of the hardest traditions to follow, and I think it seems deceptively easy. It's like, release your attachments and have greater compassion, but it's like, try doing that and living a normal human life, right? It's very hard not to have attachments. It's very hard not to judge people. It's very hard to live in an ongoing state of open compassion. It's very, very... The Morrigan, thank you, Brittany, for that example. So Jesus Christ is my ascended master, but I also recognize the others. And I also see them as ascended masters. And so I think it's really about how God presents itself to you, and that can come in different forms at different times. You've heard of Metta, right? M-A-T-T-A, which is divine compassion, and so Terra certainly represents Metta. She embodies grace. She is the ultimate embodiment of grace. As I said, she has 21 major forms, 108 minor forms, saves you from 8 dangers. I'm going to tell you what the 8 dangers are, and then I'm going to say the mantra with you one more time, and then I'm going to play the recording, and then we'll talk about the crystals. There's so much to talk about, right? But that's why GemWise is fun, because it is the stones, but it's also the stones in service of a narrative, right? And so I try to give you history and crystal wisdom at the same time, because knowing what a crystal does is only going to get you so far. It's really partly for me about context. So why would you use this crystal? Whose energy stream would this crystal activate? At what times in my life would I work with this crystal? Which spiritual energies align to this crystal? I want you to know all of the answers to those questions. Okay, so the first danger that Terra protects you from is pride. And pride is symbolized by the lion. And so Terra protects you from pride. Pride leads you to, think about what pride leads you to do. Pride leads you to sometimes to being dishonest. Pride leads you to anger. Pride leads you to, developing false personas and false identities. She protects you from ignorance, which comes in the form of the elephant. Don't ask me why. I don't know the whole story behind the correlation between the animals and the energies. But so she protects you from ignorance. She protects you from hatred. Here's interesting. Hatred is represented by the forest fire. It made me think of the Carr fires and the Cranston fires in Southern California, and it's like, to what extent are those fires really reflecting an energy stream like that? Do they represent kind of the lowest of the human vibrations? She protects you from jealousy, which comes in the form of snake. She protects you from inaccurate energy. Wrong views is the way she describes it. So she protects you from robbery. She protects you from greed, which comes in the form of imprisonment. She protects you from attachment, which is represented by flood. And she protects you from doubt, which is represented by demons. Okay, so she protects you from pride, ignorance, hatred, jealousy, wrong views, greed, attachment, and doubt. Sounds pretty good, right? I know. Now the fires are not slowing down here in Southern California. It's hot and it's dry. I'm praying for us, because our fire season in Southern California hasn't started yet. Did you know that? It doesn't start till fall equinox, and it goes all the way through October and November. I was evacuated in San Diego County when Nick was a baby, and we had to pack up everything, and the fire got right up to our back door in North County, San Diego. It came up over the hill. I watched it come up over my backyard, and the whole ridge was on fire. And I remember just running. I had 10 minutes to get out of the house. They were going door to door, and I got my my photo albums and my jewelry, and that's what I packed up, and my baby. So, we have to just pray for each other. That's the best we can do right now. Thank God, right, that my home was safe. We didn't know. And a lot of people's homes weren't safe. We had many friends who lost their homes in that fire in San Diego in 2000, back then. I know, right? So I've been through it. My family lost their business to fire when I was 17. I've shared that story with you too. Okay, so this is the Dalai Lama. And like I said, I will put this link in for you, okay? This is the Dalai Lama. It is 3 minutes reciting Terra's mantra. trying to just close your eyes while you're listening to this. So that gives you a taste. Isn't it beautiful? I mean, beautiful. I'm going to grab this and just pop it into your group right now because I don't want you to have to wait for it because I'm going to be recording your Crystals of the Bible class after we're done. So I'm just putting the link in your group right now and you'll have it. Don't you feel? Do you feel? So, anytime you feel afraid, because she's protecting you from pride, ignorance, hatred, jealousy, wrong views, which is the robbers, greed, which is prison, attachment, and doubt. So, I can't say it as fast as he can, and maybe you can. I have not been reciting that mantra nearly long enough to be able to say it as fast, but I do encourage you to say it. Can we say it out loud together? So let's say it slowly. Om Tare, T-A-R-E, Om Tare, Tu Tare, Ture, T-U-R-E, Ture, Soha. Om Tare, Tu Tare, Ture, Soha. Right? Om Tare, Tu Tare, Ture, Soha. And if you go into the GemWise Facebook group, the link that I just put in there for you has the mantra written out. And it's phonetic, right? So just say it to the best of your ability, following the syllables of the words. And what I would recommend is just get up and say it in the morning. It's very calming. You might, and as you start to repeat mantras, you get better at it. You know what I mean? It's sort of like practicing anything else. It just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. One of the things I like to do is listen to mantras in my car. Do you do that when I'm driving? Because I just find that it keeps me really calm and centered while I'm driving, and even my kids really like it. So I don't do it all the time, but I do. I've downloaded a lot onto my iPhone, and I'll just play the mantras as I'm driving. And what I find is all of a sudden I'm saying it. You know, I'm singing it with her, and that is the whole goal. You want to say it one more time? It's so good for grounding. Oh my goodness, yes, my sweet sister. It's so good for grounding. It's good for grounding. It's really good when you don't feel secure, like you don't feel like you have your footing. And when you feel like there's all kinds of weird energy around you or weird energies coming to you, it creates a buffer around you. Like just a little protective shell around you is what I think. That's right. Cindy Cole Miller made a great point. You don't have to say them fast, but saying it fast gets you to 800 or 108 times faster. Some of Diva Premal's mantra songs where she is singing, like, for example, the Gayatri mantra, which is longer, those songs can be up to an hour long to get to 108. And so for me, I love it, right? And I have taught my kids the mantras. So what my kids, here's what's really funny. My kids are 9 and 11 and they're super normal kids. But they ask me now all the time, can we play a mantra during bath time? Or can we play a mantra, can you turn on a mantra while I'm taking a shower? Or they'll ask me when they're stressed out, can we play a mantra? So I'm really proud of my kids because they've learned how calming and centering the mantras are. And they are, they're medicinal. The mantras are vibrational. They're not just words. The mantras are code. The mantras are a form of sacred communication between you and God. So use them wisely, right? It's really, really important, but you do need to do it with reverence for sure. Okay, so this is your set of tools. I'm going to take the crystals off of it. This is your beautiful plate that we have given you with Tara. 2 different representations, like I said. It's not a light and a shadow Tara, it's an active and a quiet. There's a side of Tara that's very active and she intervenes and she takes action towards your health and well-being. And then there's a side to Tara that's very quiet and very serene and very passive, sort of creates an energy flow but doesn't necessarily take an active interventionist stance, right? And so the 2 faces of Tara are represented on your plate. Let me get you the literal translation of that mantra. I'm pulling it up right now. I want to make sure I give you the literal perfect translation. Let me get that for you. What my notes, I'm just looking at my own notes for tonight's class. What my notes talk about is that it activates it is the praise to the many faces of Tara. But let me get you the exact Sanskrit translation because I want you to have the exact wording. I thought I had it in my notes, but I don't have the exact Sanskrit to English translation. And so I'll make sure, I'll either post it for you or I'll have the team post it for you later tonight or tomorrow. Okay, so this is what your stones should look like on your grid. I can't hold mine up without them falling off, but this is the layout, okay? So you're gonna have your orange kyanite up in the upper right-hand corner of your grid. You're gonna have your fulgurite up in the upper left-hand corner. Your Tibetan quartz goes right in the middle. You have your fluorite down here in the bottom left, and then you have your bloodstone down here in the bottom right. So that is your active layout of your grid. And some of the crystals on Tara's grid are some of my favorites in the universe, and so I'm so excited to tell you. And some of them aren't even crystals at all. This is melted sand, which is really cool. This is melted sand. Yes, Rose, I think that is the literal Sanskrit translation. I prostrate to the liberator, mother of all the victorious ones. I believe that is the literal Sanskrit translation, but let me 1000% get you word for word because I want to make sure you have the exact right translation. Okay, so this is, I'm going to start with your fulgurite. But I want you to stay present to that mantra because it has healing energy for you. I truly believe that the whole purpose of tonight's class is less about the stones and more about the mantra. Truly. Okay, fulgurite. I get to teach you about fulgurite. Oh no, Nicole Moore. I'll send you another one. Nicole, can you just let my team know, or Team SG, can you please note that Nicole Moore's fulgurite came crushed? I'm really surprised because when I tell you about how it's formed, you'll understand why I'm surprised. But it can happen, and I want to make sure that you have a really, really beautiful one. Okay, this is fulgurite. Fulgurite is petrified lightning. Okay, and fulgurite has a little hole on each end. And what you do shamanically with fulgurite is you set an intention and you blow the energy through. It's kind of tough because it's like a little tiny hole, but you have to feel the energy. I usually put my other hand in front of it so I can feel it. There we go. Okay, so you set an intention. This should be with you at every new moon. I know it sounds really silly, but it's a super powerful manifestation tool. It should have a hole that you can blow through, even if there's only a hole on one side. Mine has a hole on 2 sides. If yours does not have a hole like that, then I want to get you a different piece. You don't have a hole? Not a hole on either side? It might be tiny, like that's a hole. You can't be looking for a big, big, big hole. And you might have a hole just on one side. But that's what it should look like. You should have a hole at least on one side. No? Okay, well, you know what, you guys? Do you guys see it? Some of you see it, some of you don't. If yours does not have a hole and you would like one with a hole, Team SG will send you one with a hole. It's not the end of the world if yours doesn't have a hole. It still has the energy of it. But if you want to do the... Oh, it can be. So your hole can be in the middle, by the way. Do you see the hole there? Don't just look on the top. Do you see the hole that's right there? You can still blow through there. So are you guys finding holes? This is a hole right here on the side. Mine has another hole on the side. So you have to have a hole to do the blowing piece, but it doesn't have to be on the end. Did you find one? So I hear that yours is flat, but does it have a hole on the side? Like this part of mine is very flat, but there's a hole right there. So you're looking for some place where air can get through. If it does not have a hole and you would like me to send you another one, it does not have to go all the way through, but it has to have a hole. Right there, see it? Or there. Or there. Or, I don't know if you can see that one. That's a little tiny hole, but there's a hole right there. That's still a hole that you can blow your air through. You found a hole, you don't have a hole. Okay, so you can't tell me. What you have to do is you have to, I'm gonna talk with my team. What I'm gonna do is do a post, I think maybe, in GemWise. And if you would like a Fulgurite, a different Fulgurite piece, I will send one to you with no, no questions asked. But telling me here isn't gonna help me because I won't be able to take a list. And so I'm gonna do something in GemWise to figure out who needs what, and we'll send one to you. What we might do, I think what we'll probably do is give you a code to use with your next order, and we will send you a free replacement Fulgurite. That's probably the easiest way to do it rather than reshipping to however many of you would like a whole. I wouldn't take a pick. I would just tell us if you want a different Fulgurite. I wouldn't, because the team, it'll be a lot of work for the team to go through and figure that out. And so what I will probably have them do, like I said, is set up a code for you for free Fulgurite next time you place an order on SG. Does that work for you guys? I try. If you guys don't get what you need, I try to always make it right for you. So just be patient with us and we'll get it to you. When yours comes, probably looks like I'm smoking a cigarette, and that's really weird because I don't smoke, but you... So we will send it with whatever your next order is. I won't be able to tell you what that is for you because you may not place another order until October. So whatever your next order is, we'll send it. You don't have to worry, but we'll figure that out for you, okay? Okay. So Fulgurite. Fulgur is the Latin word for lightning. Did you know that? And so what happens is lightning strikes sand. Let me explain how this happens to you. Most Fulgurite... I try. Look, I will tell you something right now. We make mistakes every damn day. I am so proud of my team. I'm so proud of my team. Because if you think about how many different products we have, and every one of our sets has like 100 different little details. Do you know that our error rate on orders, do you guys want to guess what our error rate on orders is? It's around 1% of orders have mistakes in them. We calculate those odds. And so we are at the lowest error rate in orders at Sage Goddess in the history of the company. It's because now the people who are doing most of what we do here have been with me for a long time. And they know you and they know what you like. And so I just want to give a huge shout out to my team because it may look like we make mistakes, but we always try to fix them. And they are so on top of it. It's literally like, it's less than 1% error rate. That's so good. So anyway, Team SG, you're amazing and I love you. Okay, so Fulgurite is a natural glass tube formed in sand or rock when a bolt of lightning strikes from the heavens onto sand. A lightning bolt, here's what you have to know. Are you ready to know why this is for manifestation? Lightning is rare anyway, okay? When a lightning bolt strikes sand, okay? When a lightning bolt strikes sand, it contains 1 billion joules of energy. A joule of energy is a unit of energy. A lightning strike, single strike on sand contains 1 billion joules of energy, okay? And hits at 4,500 degrees Fahrenheit. When lightning hits sand at 4,500 degrees Fahrenheit, think about, can your brain even wrap around that? Okay. When lightning hits sand at that temperature, the sand melts instantly and it turns into glass. And so the result is this. And this only happens when lightning hits sand. It is so rare. There was a time in SG history where I spent more than a year searching. I spent a year searching for fulgurites. Do any of you remember that? It was probably around 2013, 14. Everybody was asking me for fulgurites. I could not find them anywhere. I still can't find them. Once or twice a year, I find fulgurite, and I buy what I can get. And it depends on how many lightning strikes there were. Lightning strikes that create fulgurite happen at elevation. And so you're talking about, do you remember, Cindy? I was desperate. I was like, does anybody have fulgurite? How do you not have it? So lightning strikes for fulgurite have to happen at elevation. They have to happen in sand. And so it's a point in time experience. And then someone has to go and collect them. That's interesting. So Karen's educating us. Glass melts at 2,200 degrees. So, and that's Fahrenheit, right, Karen Carley? So you can imagine what 4,500 degrees Fahrenheit would feel like and the impact that that would have on sand. So I want you to know that you're holding something that may not look like a big deal to you. And if you get a second piece, don't throw your first piece away, okay? Even if it doesn't have a hole in it, it's still a very good tool for you. And if you have a manifestation altar, this should be on it. This is one of the most important manifestation tools you have at your disposal, because what is the saying? Lightning strikes once, right? Lightning never strikes twice. And so this is your lightning strike. This is your bolt of inspiration. This is your big, crazy dream. Like, how would this ever happen to you, right? Like, do you ever have dreams like that? Like, I'm afraid to dream it because it's so big that it could never happen. And yet that's what fulgurite is. Fulgurite is an impossible dream of the universe, an impossible timing, an impossible alchemy, right? Of sand and fire and you know, the cooling and what happens in the whole process. So yes, I would say for sure, Nicole's like, should I put it in my honey jar? You for sure should put it in your honey jar. Before you put it in your honey jar, make a wish. And blow your wish up to the heavens and then just give thanks. And I think that's all I wanted to tell you about that. They're found in Canada, Morocco, the United States, but they're found in multiple locations around the world. The conditions have to be right. Like I said, elevation, lightning into sand, and so there's not, you know, not every mountaintop in the world would be capable of forming a fulgurite. Now, if you wanted to make like an incredible pendant, I would wire wrap fulgurite with some of the Synergy 12, or keep your fulgurite with the Synergy 12, meaning tanzanite, satyaloka quartz, brookite, phenakite, herderite. All of the Synergy 12 crystals resonate and vibrate powerfully with fulgurite. So this is a powerful tool for you. The honey jars, right now the only place to get the honey jar is in the fall equinox kit, the Mabon kit. We are making honey jars together. So if you'd like to do that craft with me, the only way to do it right now is through that. But that kit, I think, launched yesterday, so a lot of you just got that, so you'll be doing honey jar crafting with me very, very soon. Okay, rapid evolution, instant quantum transformation and manifestation. What fulgurite is I want this, here it is. I want to transform, I've transformed. I want to experience prosperity, I am prosperous. I want to experience health, I am healthy. That's what fulgurite is energy of quantum transformation, which is really powerful. Okay, bloodstone. We go from the super rare to the more common, but not to be underestimated, because bloodstone is a powerful, powerful, powerful crystal to work with. Bloodstone is jasper and chalcedony. And so what is the hallmark characteristic of bloodstone are the little red spots that you see, not everywhere, but on, do you see right there? Little red spots. And so the story is that the green matrix of bloodstone was on the ground when Christ was crucified, and that when he was crucified, it was the drops of blood from his body that created the spots of blood in bloodstone. Bloodstone is thought to be And for sure, yeah, keep using your crystals from this kit. You don't have to keep them together. So if you want to put your bloodstone on your healing altar, and you want to put your fulgurite on your manifestation altar, and then you want to put your green kyanite or your orange kyanite on your sexy times sacral chakra kundalini altar, and then you want to put your Tibetan quartz with your bloodstone on your healing altar, and you want to put your fluorite. My piece is so beautiful. It has a calcite crystalline line around it. The fluorite we sent you, you guys, is the best raw fluorite I've ever encountered in my life. Did you flip out when you saw it? I've never had raw fluorite like that for you. It has quartz veining and calcite veining that look like little sugar crystals. It's so beautiful. Anyway, that goes on your Dharma altar or your Soul Path altar, and so you can separate your crystals and use them for all of their purposes too. Lisa, you can make your own honey jar. I don't have any separately, but you could make your own. I think that would be great if you want to do that. You can use my inspiration and kind of make your own creation out of it. Okay, so let's talk about bloodstone. Master Healer. This is a cleanser of the blood. Okay, if you know anyone who has blood-related health conditions and they want to detoxify, cleanse the blood, this is it. All of my athletes who come to me, I have so many athletes who are clients. It might surprise you. I have a lot of law enforcement, a lot of athletes, and athletes come for endurance. They want to know what herbs, what essential oils, what crystals they can use for endurance and for training, right? And so bloodstone is one that supports the overall skeletal system, the muscular system in the body. And in ancient times, in Greece and Rome, it's really interesting. They used to take pieces of bloodstone and they would tie it to their arms and to their legs when they were competing in sports events because they thought it physically gave them more stamina and endurance. Yeah, so circulation and issues anywhere. I had a staff member here because we had really beautiful, it's probably like 4 years ago. It makes me sad when we have beautiful versions of stones and we never get them again. And it happens all the time. Some of the things you've gotten from SG, I'll never be able to recreate or replace. It makes it really special. But we had these really thin, I don't know if you remember, gorgeous bloodstone palm stones. I went back to the vendor 3 or 4 times and she said, I can never make those again. So they're all gone now. But they were like discs and they were very, very thin. They were thinner than the palm of my hand, just like little slices of bloodstone. And so I had a staff member whose foot was hurting. And so we put the bloodstone into a sock and like had her sit and take the pressure off her leg, and the pain never came back. And so we've had our own really powerful experiences here, even just among our staff with some of these stones. I believe in bloodstone. I believe in bloodstone for pain relief. I believe in it for blood issues, circulation issues, and detoxification. It's really, really good for people who have addiction issues. If you do a combination of bloodstone with amethyst, it's really good for releasing addictive behaviors. And especially if you're working on a particular addiction, it can be really, really, really helpful for you. And so, and it doesn't matter. I like working with rough bloodstone, which is why I put it in your kit in its natural form. I also think it helps you to see the little red specks. Really nice bloodstone like this also has a blue tinge to it. Do you see how it almost has the color of my shirt? And so it's blue and it's green and it's red, and sometimes it has little, you know, sort of white flecks and dots. And so I think there's a lot to bloodstone. And even though it's relatively common, I have such an appreciation for it. If you are a crystal healer, it has to be in your toolkit. I have my crystal healing tray here in the classroom. A lot of you have seen it because you come to events, and there's a gorgeous piece of bloodstone on there, and that's because it is the primary physical healer. Anytime I have a client come in and say, I've got muscle pain, I've got digestive problems, because bloodstone is one that really supports the digestive system too. It's really, really good for you. If you're addicted to crystals, I don't know how to help you because I share your addiction. Yes, Jessica, absolutely. She says she sleeps with a giant bloodstone sphere to keep her lymphoma chilling. That is the absolute perfect crystal for you. I'm sure you know that, but like, I couldn't have recommended something better for you. Yeah, and a little bit of gold too. Mine has gold on it too. Do you see? That's going to be your iron, right? Anytime you see golden colors in your crystals, that's because there's iron in the soil. So that helps you to understand why. Just like when you see blue in your crystals, it's copper, right? So you start to learn sort of the telltale signs of the adjacent metals and minerals that grow with your crystals, and add additional metaphysical benefits to it too. It brings courage. It helps you to take the right action. It helps you fulfill your commitments. If you know someone who's older and is very, very frail, carrying bloodstone can help prevent falls. So I've given some to older people in my life who I love and who are prone to falls. It can help them to avoid accidents. If you want to really, really boost that energy, Crazy Lace Agate helps to prevent accidents. So does Laguna Agate. So if you have any Laguna Agate, any Crazy Lace Agate, both of those prevent accidents. In your car, you should always have Crazy Lace Agate or Laguna Agate with black tourmaline, because Crazy Lace Agate prevents accidents and black tourmaline prevents theft. And so that should be your car duo. In fact, we should probably have that on sagegoddess.com for people. We used to have a traveling gemstone kit. Do you remember that? It was like, there were stones for travel that would keep you safe. There was green aventurine because that attracts luck on your travels, and it had rose quartz because that attracts people being loving and kind to you, and agate for that, and jasper. And anyway, we should probably bring that back. Okay, so that is bloodstone. Now this, we're going a little over time tonight, but I always go over time. I like to give you more than you bargained for in life. I try. This is orange kyanite. One of the most beautiful pieces of it I've ever seen. I hope you fell in love with that in your kit. Again, another one. This was, we specifically gathered this crystal for this kit because it's a really important crystal that represents the active face of the green Terra. Orange kyanite comes from Africa, and this piece in particular comes from Tanzania. So you are looking at a little piece of Tanzania in your kit if you're holding it. Isn't it beautiful? I love it so much. It activates the sacral chakra. Now here's what you need to know about kyanite. Kyanite, think of kyanite as the scales. Okay, it balances everything. Black kyanite balances the negative and the positive energies in your environment. Blue kyanite balances the hormones and the chemicals in your body. Orange kyanite is balancing your sacral chakra and the kundalini energy in your body between what I like to call high creativity, which can almost be like a manic creativity, and low creativity, which is lack of inspiration. And so if you feel uninspired, orange kyanite sort of picks you up and helps you to feel more inspired. But then if you're over-inspired, where you feel kind of manic and you feel like your creativity is stressing you out, then orange kyanite brings you down and sort of levels you out. So this is your balancing stone for creativity. If you need to kick your own ass because you're not achieving your goals this year, this is a really good one, especially if your goals are creative. This is going to be a powerhouse crystal for you. I think this would make a really beautiful, because of the size. This is about the size of crystal I like to wear in jewelry. It would make a really cool earring too, wouldn't it? I'm always thinking about options for how to work with crystals. So, orange kyanite, Tanzania, Africa. There's a playful energy to orange kyanite. It represents green Terra's energy stream of open optimism. That's one of the energy streams we don't talk about as much with Terra. She's optimistic. Not only is she compassionate, but she really believes in the future and the goodness of others. And so all of that energy of believing in the highest good and attracting your highest creative potential without going manic, that's what this stone represents. And you may know somebody who needs this. Sometimes we have creative people in our lives who don't know how to get that balance. Do you know anybody like that? I'm surrounded by dancers, musicians, artists of all kinds. Literally, I would say 90% of the people in my life are active artists. And I would say about half of them are frustrated. And shit, I get frustrated too. You know what I mean? I'm an artist too. I paint in words, and I get very frustrated when I'm blocked. It doesn't happen very often, but it sure does happen. And so on those days when you're feeling like, you're waiting for God to move your hands or move your fingertips or move your paintbrush, this will help you. And then you combine this is where it gets really fun. I love crystal prescriptions. You combine this with vanadinite, which helps you overcome obstacles. Vanadinite will not let you not complete a project. If you are slacking on something, vanadinite is going to be this blinking reminder, finish it, finish it, finish it. But vanadinite also gives you the energy to finish projects. And so orange kyanite with vanadinite, it's kind of like the ultimate kick your own butt, find your creative zone, right? It's frustrating as an artist, especially when you feel like you should be able to do something and for some reason there's a block. Happens sometimes. Okay. The word kyanite comes from the Greek word kyanos, which means dark blue, but that's because the first color of kyanite ever discovered in the world was blue. Did you know? Little Sage Goddess trivia. So the first color of kyanite ever discovered by our ancient Greek ancestors was dark blue. And that is also the most common color of kyanite across the planet, so it makes perfect sense that kyanite was named before anyone discovered the black, the green, and the orange. And because the orange and the green primarily come from Africa, that was a later discovery. You find the more common colors of blue and black in the United States, throughout Europe, and different parts of the world. The orange and the green, which only come from Africa at this time, are harder to find, which is why I think our ancient Greek ancestors were not familiar with them. One of the things you'll learn in my Crystal Legends, Lore, and Myths book, which is coming out, which I think you'll really love, is I'm going to teach you about the Silk Road and the trade routes, and I will teach you how all of the crystals got to different parts of the world. I sort of trace the route from India and through the Himalayan ridge down into Egypt and into Africa, and so I kind of show you how all of the crystals made their way from one part of the world to the other. It's a fascinating story. One of the most fun projects of my life, the most difficult project of my life, probably, because that book is all history, but it was really fun digging in and figuring out, so how did they get those crystals? How did they get opals to Africa? How did they get kyanite to Greece? Like, what was that trade route? You're going to love it. That book is a good one. It's not out yet, but it's coming. Okay, Tibetan quartz. And you know what? This may surprise you. I don't think I'm teaching a class on gemstones next year. I probably will talk about gems in some of the classes, but at this time, I'm not planning to teach a course dedicated to gemstones. That could change because the book is coming. But I feel like I've given you so much good gemstone knowledge this year that I want to kind of explore some different things with you. So that probably will make you appreciate GemWise even more, because our focus on gems, at least in this way, will change a little bit. Sage Goddess classes are changing completely next year. I'll still be talking about crystals, oh, for sure, but not a dedicated class. I'm not planning a dedicated class on gemstones right now. I know, because there's so much other stuff we have to do. I know. We'll see. I haven't finished my planning. I'm actually finishing all my planning next week, so we should have some announcements for you in the next couple of months. But you guys, I have so much to teach you, and I'm getting older, so I want to be able to do all the things. Sabbatical is for sure staying. As long as I teach you, sabbatical will stay. But I want to incorporate crystals in a different way. So Sage Goddess University is launching. Our mastermind program will be coming. So there's all kinds of fun things coming next year, but not GemWise. So enjoy these last couple of months. I know. I love it too, but I like change too. Okay, Tibetan quartz. Stay with me. I'm still teaching. I'm just not teaching GemWise. Okay. Now, this is your Tibetan quartz, double terminated, as it needs to be, because if you just started Holistic Healer, you still have all through the year to finish Holistic Healer and get your certificate, so don't worry. You'll still get your certificate for this year. But big things are coming, so get excited. Okay, this is double terminated Tibetan quartz. I'm going to show you some other forms of Tibetan quartz because I want you to see the graphite and carbon inclusions. So this is a super crystal clear piece, which makes it really super fun. This is a scanner crystal. What do we do with a scanner crystal? I'll back up my chair to show you. So when you want to scan someone, you take a crystal like this. This is from the Native American tradition, and you run it up and down the body. And you kind of let your gaze fall soft, and you set the intention to see any areas of disease or discord in the body. And they show up, you have to use a clear piece of quartz to do this. They show up as opaque spots. And so I run this over someone's body 3 or 4 times, and by the time I do that, I can start to see opaque spots. You can scan your own body. And you don't need a piece this big to do it, but you do need a pretty clear piece. The black inclusions here are graphite or carbon, and that is the hallmark telltale sign of Tibetan quartz. This is a Tibetan phantom, which I think is really cool. I was thinking about doing a bonus class for you guys of just show and tell of some really fun, rare crystals in the shop that you've never seen, with like rare inclusions and rare special things about them, and showing you tips and tricks like the scanning. So if you're interested in that, let me know, because I would love to do a class like that for you. I could probably do a couple of classes like that, a couple of like installments of that. Wouldn't that be fun? So this is a phantom. You can see, what is a phantom? A phantom is a point within a point. So there's the internal point that echoes the top point of the crystal. And then this is also a phantom Tibetan. By the way, if you want things like this, I can get them mostly at Tucson, so you just need to let me know, like, yes, please bring back double terminated phantom Tibetan. But these are, I will tell you, these are wholesale $300 to $500 crystals. I mean, no joke. So just be aware. That's why I'm trying to teach you guys about the value of crystals. If you want a high quality, super clear phantom Tibetan from the Himalayan ridge, double terminated, you're in the 300 to 500 range wholesale, which means you're in the 600 to 900 range retail. It's pretty crazy stuff. How does a double terminated quartz point grow, by the way? It grows like this. Did you know that? That's why these are so rare, you guys. They grow horizontally. And so the miners cut them off, and then they have a double terminated. They don't grow in the ground like this, otherwise you wouldn't have a second termination on the bottom. They grow horizontally, and that's why they're so, so, so rare. We had, a couple of years ago, I brought back 3 or 4, I didn't even keep one, huge double terminated Tibetan phantoms, and because customers had been waiting, and we sold them all. I think they were $1,500 to $4,000, but they were like this size. So we do sometimes find things for people if you're in that place where you want that. Now you might ask yourself, who the hell would want that? If you have any health problems at all, Tibetan quartz is one of the most profound healing stones you'll ever work with. When I first got sick with MS 10 years ago, almost now, my teacher at the time said, you need 2 stones. And I said, okay. And he said, you need kyanite and you need Tibetan quartz. And I have that relationship with that person where the instant he said that, it was just like, okay, I need kyanite and Tibetan quartz. I knew he was right. And so through every infusion, I lost my vision when I got sick, through losing my vision and through every infusion and all the hospital stays and all of that, I kept my Tibetan quartz in one hand and my kyanite in the other hand. And I really, really, really credit these crystals with the fact that I am in perfect health today. I mean, I shouldn't be for all that I've been through. So I would say, and again, same story with this, right? Like these little double terms had to grow sideways so that when they were mine, they just got plucked off, right? Wasn't that beautiful? So Tibetan quartz, your pieces have little tiny flecks. Do you see it of your graphite? Some of your pieces might be in hydro, meaning they might have a water bubble in them, because a lot of Tibetan quartz does. And so to find out if yours does, you just want to go to the light and turn it. If there's a water bubble, you'll be able to see it moving. I don't think mine has one. But you'll be surprised. I would say at least once a month we get a customer who writes in and says, oh my God, you sold me this crystal and you didn't know it was in hydro. And they find a huge water bubble in it, but we don't check everything before we send it out. We can't. And so the more black yours is, the more carbon or graphite yours has. And that's a good thing. But you need some. The way you know you have Tibetan quartz is the little black inclusions. And it's not a size matters, more black is more healing or anything like that, but it's not a bad thing if yours is mostly black either. It's a dramatic healer. It focuses on the root cause of your disease. This is what I want you to remember. If you're taking notes, okay, the one thing I want you to write down about Tibetan quartz, and the reason my teacher directed me to it in the first place, and the reason I still, when customers come to me and say that they have just been diagnosed with some terrible disease, which happens probably 5 times a day, given what I do for a living, all I hear all day long is, I just got diagnosed, I just got diagnosed, I just got diagnosed, right? Every day. And the first thing I do is I say, if you want to understand the root cause of that, you're going to have to work with Tibetan quartz. It takes you all the way in to the root cause of the pain that you're experiencing. That's why having a Tibetan scanner is so important, because it's naturally attuned to go in and to identify the root cause and source of pain. It awakens all of the upper chakras. It also grounds you. It emanates the full spectrum of color. It creates ultimate chakra alignment. Just by working with Tibetan quartz, by holding it, all of your chakras come to instant alignment. Did you know, here's what's fascinating about this crystal too, it's why I love you guys so much and I love this class. Did you know that this is the only crystal that is said to facilitate and strengthen automatic writing? Those of you who want to do automatic writing, did you know that this is your crystal? A lot of people do not know that. Let me go back. Someone was asking me about Tina's question, and I didn't see Tina's question. Tina, what color kyanite for MS? That's a great question. What he recommended to me, and the piece that I have, is blue and green. It is it's the blue-green that I have offered you before. It's the one that came from the earthquake that happened in Pakistan. Do you remember me telling you that story? That there was an earthquake in Pakistan that literally melded two tectonic plates and forced the union of a blue kyanite mine with a green kyanite mine. I've brought you it like 2 or 3 times. There isn't a lot of it in the world, but that blue-green kyanite, we may have some on the website, and I would recommend that you look. But it's from that Pakistani earthquake. I think the Pakistani earthquake happened in 2012 or 2013. I want to say it was 12-13 because I first saw it in Tucson in 2013, I think, and that was the first time it had come to market. You have it, right? I've had hearts, I've had spheres, I've had tumbled, so if you've got it, you've got the best neurological form of kyanite that you can work with. Okay, what's automatic writing? Can I tell you? If I had more time, I'd tell you a juicy story. My mom is an automatic writer. And so the very long story short is, before I was born, she stopped when I was born because she was scared. During her pregnancy with me, she was sort of told that she was carrying me. And so she stopped doing a lot of magical and metaphysical work because she was worried that the energy of me growing inside and the energy of the work that she was doing, because she was holding seances. My mom is a medium and a channel. So quick story, I'm not going to go all the way down the rabbit hole, but she automatic writes. You go into a trance. Basically, you're taken over by another entity, so that's why I'm saying she's a channel. She's an empath and a medium, so she has allowed other energies to take over her body, and they write through you. And so my mom used to write in all languages. She would write in German, she would write in English, she would write in Spanish and French, and my mom did not go to high school and is not multilingual, so she was writing in languages that she didn't know. So one day, she would like to do a video for you guys, by the way. She has asked if you guys would be interested in hearing some of her stories. So if you are interested, I'd be happy to share her with you. I think you would really find her, she has a hard time talking because of her health, but I think she would be really interested in sharing some of her stories with you. But anyway, one day she automatic wrote in German and brought it to my grandmother and said, you know, I know that my grandmother's sister's husband was German and had been in a German prisoner of war camp. And so she brought what she wrote to her and said, I think this is German. Can you show it to him? And you've heard the story, right? And so anyway, my grandmother gave it to her sister, who gave it to her husband, and the husband came to my mom and was yelling at her and saying, what are you doing? And how do you know this? And because it was actually a letter written to him by someone he'd been in camp with who had died in the camp during the war. And it was in German. And so she became really ousted from the family because everybody was terrified. Like, how did she do that? She didn't know German. She didn't know who this person was. He'd been dead for decades. Like, how did that happen? And he never got over it, actually. I think he was still troubled by it even when he passed away. And my mom did not automatic write after that again because I think it was this really, imagine if you wrote something in a foreign language that was actually written to someone else and you ended up handing it to them. That would be a really trippy experience. So if you want to do that, what I will tell you is automatic writing is dangerous to the extent that it does involve another energy system working through you, another entity, if you will. And so if you ever wanted to do that, I would highly recommend that you do your homework. You have to open a safe container. But there are stones that actually facilitate that. And automatic writing can be a really powerful form of prophecy. And there are really powerful pieces of wisdom that can come through. I channel when I write, but nothing takes me over. I have learned to hold a boundary where I can channel wisdom from spirit as I write, And it happens, like words just flow through, but nothing is consciously in my body. And I think it's because my mom scared me too much. I probably could do it. It's interesting, isn't it? The other thing I want to tell you about Tibetan quartz, and I'm going to talk about fluorite, and then we'll be done for tonight. Yeah, so just to open a circle, remember I've always taught you these basic protocol measures, but you always want to open a circle. Selenite's a great material to open a circle with, and then when you're done, you always want to, open the circle and to release the energies, but you always have to do that. Right? Okay. So for Tibetan quartz, the last thing I wanted to tell you, it's for healing, meditation, connection with other realms, automatic writing, channeling, purification. Here's what I want you to know. I'm going to try and say this as fast as I can. When Atlantis and Lemuria fell, it was chaos. And that's because the original intention of those civilizations, which was to, Lemuria and Atlantis were experiments to see if we could actually create a divine vibration on a mortal planet, okay? Like to see how high of a vibration we could raise on this planet. And it was partially successful and partially not successful. And so the highest vibrational remnants of Lemuria and Atlantis when those civilizations were destroyed is said to have gone to Tibet, and in the form of what is known as the Great White Brotherhood. White is not a reference to race. The Great White is a reference to the white light of God, and they're thought to be the most pure beings who ever existed. That Great White Brotherhood, or Nikal Brotherhood, or there's many names for that brotherhood, apparently all still reside in Tibet, and that the Tibetan monks today are the descendants in many ways of the Great White Brotherhood, the highest vibrational form of existence in the ancient Lemurian and Atlantis civilizations. I think that's why so many of us resonate with Tibet. The Tibetan crystals speak to us, Nirvana quartz speaks to us, and I think it's because there's some part of us that still remembers that bright white light of Lemuria and Atlantis, and the only place we can find it today is in the purity of Tibet and in the beauty of the Buddhist practice. And so that's why I feel so connected, not because I'm Buddhist, but because I really do believe that I miss the beauty of Lemuria and Atlantis so much, and the only place we can experience it today is in Tibet and Nepal. Okay, so last stone is fluorite. Gorgeous natural fluorite. Did you love your piece? I hope you loved your piece. Mine is kind of a green-blue piece, but I just loved it. I actually think I'm going to take my piece and wire wrap it because it just really speaks to me. Isn't it beautiful? Yeah, so PK's talking about, calling her spirit, and she's been looking for her path. This is the stone that's going to do it for you. By the way, I have 2 pieces right tonight as giveaways. If you started late, I've got 2 gorgeous pieces of faceted fluorite. These were in the shop today. Don't miss these, because we only have faceted fluorite once or twice a year, and it is so absolutely beautiful. Look at that. Look at the rainbow in that one. And they're all like this. They are all this beautiful. Okay, so fluorite, interestingly, did you know, is associated with the planet Mercury. This is a communication stone, but it's not just a communication stone between you and someone else. It's an interdimensional communication stone. It is the stone of the soul path, the stone of discernment. Fluorite comes from the Latin word fluo, which means flow. So a lot of people say, how do I get into flow? It looks like it's covered in sugar, right, Julie Baxter? That is calcite. Those are little sugary calcite and quartz veins. Do you see that, where it looks just like little sugar? Any of you who have that, that's super special. We picked these pieces just for you because we thought they were so beautiful. By the way, fluorite grows in a natural octahedral shape, which means that it activates code. If you took my diamond code class, any of my light codes classes, and I think a lot of you have, fluorite activates diamond code. And so it activates codes to help you understand what your soul path is and to explore and to manifest your soul gifts in this lifetime. It's a really, really powerful crystal for that. And its natural form is octahedral, which is the diamond shape that you're familiar with. Okay, fluorite brings structure and focus where you have any kind of like mixed or confused or incoherent energies. And it is one of the only stones that is traditionally associated with White Tara, who is the gentle, serene, peaceful face of that healing goddess. So, and then in this green color, by the way, this is the most healing, physical healing color of fluorite. So I tried to give you kind of a green-blue piece because that's traditional. These pieces here that I'm giving away tonight with more of the deep indigo colors is more of a non-traditional, rare form of fluorite. But it's fun to kind of see them side by side. Here's the natural and here is the polished. I will tell you something, ironically, I kind of like the natural better. But I'm a natural girl. Do you know what I mean? Like I think these are beautiful polished pieces, but there's something about just knowing that this was plucked from Gaia's belly and it's all there. Yours has black on it too. That there are lots of different inclusions that form on fluorite because fluorite grows with a lot of different minerals. So you may have a lot of different parties going on in your fluorite. Like I said, it brings structure and focus. It removes negative energy. It is associated with the swords in the tarot. Isn't that interesting? The suit of the swords, which is all about the clarity of truth. Think of this as a sword that cuts through confusion and just brings you total clarity. So if you have felt like, many of us have, like you're walking through molasses in your life, or like the signs aren't adding up, you know, it's like you're having a hard time making sense, things are upside down, this is your stone medicine. 1,000%. 1,000%. And so those, taken together, are the medicine of sweet Tara, who is our goddess of compassion. And she embodies that in such beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ways. Isn't that pretty? I'm so glad you like it. Okay. I'm going to give these away right now. I'm excited for you. Now this one, did you see the rainbow there on the front? Oh, there's two rainbows. There's a rainbow there. Of the two, I think this might be my favorite piece because I'm really a sucker for the lighter colored pieces. And I'm also a sucker for the smaller pieces because I can put them right on my third eye and meditate with them. You should lay down and just lay this on your third eye and take a nap. So if it's calling to you, let me know. This one is all kind of like aqua purple. Look at the lines. Ooh, there's a blue line there. Do you see it? Do you see that? There's a blue line, right? How do I show you? And there's yellow. No way, I didn't see that before. Isn't that pretty? Do you see the blue line right there? It's like a navy blue in the middle of all that green and purple. There's your rainbow right there. Oh my God. Could you just? Okay. That's right. Third eye activation all day long. Okay. This one's easy. It's so funny. As soon as I saw your comment, Diana, it was like, that's a yes. Diana Friedman, this one is yours. Woo! Diana Friedman. And so, girl, when you get this, you lay down, you put this on your third eye, and you go to sleep for a little while. This is a powerful piece. And this is going to heighten your intuition around your health and around your connection to your spirit guides. So that is your medicine for you. Okay. This piece is nuts. Look at that rainbow on top. This one is going to also enhance intuition. There's a lot of indigo, a lot of purple in this piece. It's very, very different. Look at the lines. I wish I could show you this next to the window. This isn't even in good light, and it is so absolutely beautiful. Okay, so whose is this one? I love these so much. I just think they're beautiful. And every time, if I give a crystal to someone who isn't familiar with crystals, if I give them fluorite, they always say the same thing. How is this even possible in nature? It looks like a rainbow, like a hardened rainbow. And it's like, yeah, it absolutely does. So, so, so good. All right. Who's it going to? It does remove negative energy all damn day long, Diane Kelly. Isn't it pretty? It's so pretty. Did Diane see that she won? I hope she did. I think that's really cool that she got that piece. Okay. All right. I think I know where this one's going to. I'm so excited for you guys. I'm so excited for you. I'm going back to find the comment. Okay. Diana saw it. That's so good. I'm so glad. I'm so, so glad. Congratulations to you, sweetheart. It's so meant for you. Like, as soon as I saw your comment, I was like, all my guides were like, yes, that's where it goes. Okay. Sometimes you guys know it's for you. Sylvia T, this is for you. 1,000% with all my heart, just for you. Sylvia T. And you know what? It feels like a heart. So whereas this one with Diana, like I want her to lay down. If I could put Diana right here on my massage table, I would have her lay down there with that. But for you, Sylvia, I feel like I just want to place this right on your heart. What your spirit guides are telling me, Sylvia, if you don't mind me sharing, is that you need clarity of the heart. And it's coming. It's coming. There's something, a question about love, or still a love from the past that you're still healing from, and that clarity is coming to you, girl. And man, this crystal is a big part of that healing for you, and I feel really honored to be the one who's going to send it your way. And she knew. I bet you. She hasn't commented yet. Oh, there she is. Okay, good. She raised her hands like a touchdown. When you guys know, sometimes it's like you do know. You do know that the universe is trying to do this work through you. I'm just a listener. I'm just a messenger. Yay. Okay, well, and by the way, someone asked about golden colors and stones, and I had mentioned this earlier, but just let me repeat because I love to answer all your questions. Iron leads to golden color inclusions in your stones, and iron is a fortifier. It's a conductor of energy. It supports circulation of energy flow around you. You want iron inclusions. We have quartz clusters that come in specifically for clients who want iron inclusions because they want circulation. So if you see gold in your stones, always know it's a good thing because it's an iron inclusion and will support circulation of energy. I do kind of match it. I do. When I was holding these earlier, I was holding them like this, and it was like, wow, that's kind of inappropriate. I was like, I don't know why I'm holding them like this, but I did that earlier. Thanks, you guys. I'm so glad you enjoyed tonight's class. I'm going to be recording for you right now Crystals of the Bible. That will be coming forward for you very shortly. Your Crystals of the Bible kit is in the shop for you right now. It is super special because there is a very rare crystal in the kit that is, I showed it to you at the beginning of the class, comes to us from Brazil. We special ordered it just for the Crystals of the Bible set. And I want to remind you when you check out that your sale code is, because your GemWise kit for next month is in the shop too. Did you see that for Rome? And Rome, if you're doing healing, your code is REAP18. So your crystals for next month. Did you see this kit? How is this kit $19? I think we're nuts. And that's before 18% off with code REAP18. I wouldn't be able to do this for you any less expensive. Heart and soul could not. There's Heliodor. That is a huge piece of golden beryl. This is yellow aquamarine. Super special, super rare. There's emerald, a huge piece of emerald. There's Morian smoky quartz, which is the only naturally irradiated black quartz on the planet. Comes from Africa. I get to teach you that whole story. Those 3 stones are worth $19. So you're getting your picture jasper and your peacock ore, and you're shipping for free, which is pretty awesome. So as you grab your set, make sure you don't forget your code. Grab the Crystals of the Bible too, because they're in there as well. And that way, when you watch the class, you'll have everything that I talked about. I know. REAP18, that's right. 18% off. That's right, that's right, that's right. The Auralite. Remind me about your question about the Auralite, and I will try to answer that as well. Absolutely. So, and the grid is there too. That's right. Isn't it beautiful? So we are talking about Juno and the many faces of the goddess next month. And so I'm going to teach you all about the magic of Rome. Aren't you excited? I'm excited too. Well, no, it's not free shipping. What I'm saying is the 3 stones in the kit are worth $19. You're getting 18% off, so you're getting 2 stones for free, and basically consider your shipping free. The kit should have been $25 with no discount at a minimum, probably closer to $30. So to get $19 for the kit plus 18% off is as cheap as we can possibly get. We are so trying to save you guys money because we know that there's so many things you want to do, and we want to make sure that you can make good choices as well, because we're constantly showing you new things. But that is in the shop for you right now. So head over and grab that. I'm going to sign off so I can go get ready for your next class, but I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm excited for next month too. We have so much fun ahead of us. Stay tuned for the Crystals of the Bible class. That will be live for you tomorrow, and I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll come into the group and answer all your questions. And then we will also post about Fulgurite and plan to have that ready for you so that when you place an order in the future, you'll have a code that'll get you a free replacement piece of Fulgurite in case yours didn't have the little holes in it too. Oh, it's so good. I know. It's really, really special, you guys. I hope you look forward to it. And like I said, when the book comes out, I think you'll be excited that you already had kind of a sneak peek of one of the chapters. I hope that is exciting for you too. So much love. All right, you guys, I'll see you soon. Have a great rest of your evening. Have a good weekend. Take care. I'll see you soon.